North Portage path in both directions. And I did just get a tweet that this remains closed in between Bailey Avenue and Y Drive. So you'll not be able to use North Portage path in either direction, and that is because of that house fire in Akron. Other closures that may affect you this morning include the water main break southbound on Walter Road in Westlake, and that is closed on the southbound side in between Framingham Drive and Meadow Lane. That is a water main break that occurred last night, but the closure still in place this morning. And also we have a construction project, and that construction project is going to be southbound Heisley Road right over Route 2. That's an ongoing project that began yesterday, and that will be closed until mid-October on the southbound side. Back to you.
This morning, we've learned more about the deal for First Energy to rename Browns Stadium. The Plain Dealer says First Energy will pay the Browns $6 million a year for at least 17 years, and then makes the agreement worth at least $102 million. And the Browns have a new offensive coordinator. It's former Chargers head coach Norv Turner. The team made that announcement yesterday, and that means one side of the ball is taken care of. However, the Browns are still searching for a defensive coordinator, and they will interview former Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Raheem Morris later today. He spent last season as the Washington Redskins defensive backs coach. And if you were looking for something to do this weekend, head on down to Progressive Field. The Indians will host Tribe Fest 2013 tomorrow and Sunday. That event is filled with all kinds of activities. Also gives fans a chance to meet some of their favorite Indians players. Mike?
Macy, 5:33. All morning long, we've been following that hostage crisis in Algeria. The information constantly changing, and we hope to get more details in a half hour. That's when British Prime Minister David Cameron is supposed to talk. All right, here's what we know right now. The Algerian military tried to raid the area where the hostages are being held. Instead, though, fighting reportedly broke out. Algeria is saying the raid is over right now, but the British government is denying those reports. Now, at least 6 people have died. That number is expected to grow. Also, the hostages are from at least 10 countries, so their home nations were outraged when they learned of the raid. In fact, overnight, Japan summoned the Algerian ambassador to the Office of Foreign Affairs. Japan ordered the nation to put the hostages and their lives first. Macy?
You know, some crimes are simply unthinkable, and robbing a church and a cemetery are among them. And it's actually what happened this week when bronze-plated plaques worth more than $1,000 were taken from a Massillon cemetery. Those plaques are valued at $1 apiece, and they were bought by parishioners about a year ago in memory of deceased loved ones.
I was also saddened at the fact that someone had to go so low as to get into the cemetery and to steal them.
For whatever reason, the thieves left one plaque behind. Police believe the others were probably sold for scrap. And if you have any information on who may be responsible, you're asked to call Massillon Police Department at the number you see listed below.
Later today, authorities are going to exhume the body of a Chicago lottery winner. He died of cyanide poisoning. Yarouj Khan died in July after he just collected his $425,000 in winnings. At first, police thought he died of natural causes, but later toxicology tests revealed that somebody poisoned him. The autopsy is scheduled for this afternoon, and it'll determine how Mr. Khan ingested the cyanide.
You're looking right now at a live look at the nation's capital, where 6 hours from now, Attorney General Eric Holder and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg will attend the second day of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Holder is expected to talk with them about gun control and the president's plan to curb gun violence. Akron Mayor Don Plusquellic and Warrensville Heights Mayor Brad Sellers are also attending.
New this morning, President Obama getting help pushing his agenda. His political organization is changing into a nonprofit. It'll help to mobilize support behind his agenda for his second term. Now, the group will take money from individuals and businesses, but not from lobbyists. The formation of the nonprofit is going to be announced later today. Also new this morning, New Jersey's Republican Governor Chris Christie says that a National Rifle Association ad that mentions President Obama's daughters is, quote, reprehensible. The ad charges that it's hypocritical for the president to have his daughters protected by an armed guard, but to not embrace armed guards for other kids. Christie says children of public figures should be off limits to political attacks. 5:36 right now, foods to boost your mood.
New information just came out about the kinds of grub that you might want to add to your diet and why they might give you an emotional lift. And passengers aboard a flight in Miami hear what they describe as an explosion. Exactly what happened in 3 minutes.
And in 5 minutes, you can carve some fun into your weekend without spending a dime. You're waking up to what's all new on Good Morning Cleveland.
5:39 on this Friday, and breaking overnight, a hijacking scare on an Alaskan airliner en route from Hawaii.
Yeah, two F-15 fighter jets actually had to escort the flight into Seattle. This after the FBI got an anonymous call that a man was on the flight and he was a hijacker. Now, agents alerted the flight crew, who kept a close eye on the guy. He slept most of the flight and then was taken into custody in Seattle. Investigators say he is cooperating and the entire thing might have been just a hoax. Also breaking overnight, talk about a reason to turn around and not to board a plane. This is video from Miami International Airport. It's where two flights had a little run-in. Now, witnesses say it felt like an explosion and the plane shook on impact. Folks were boarding a flight to France as a flight from Argentina was landing, and it actually clipped the back of the Air France plane with its wing. Everything stopped for a while, but the flight to France eventually took off. No one was hurt in this. Hey, Christine, some areas are seeing flight cancellations because of that winter weather down south.
Oh, yes, and that winter weather was definitely a big one for them. They don't really get a lot of snow in the south, maybe an inch or two in many locations. A lot of spots had well over that, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But first, I wanted to show you the county-by-county outlook for today. 32 degrees in Strongsville will be your high, with mainly cloudy skies to start and then some increasing sunshine. Canton, you should see some sun this afternoon, 33. Ashtabula, 30. Can't rule out a morning snow shower. There may be a few flurries near the lake, but generally we are in really great shape here for the forecast. Now, coming up, we are also going to be looking at the Arctic blast for next week. But now let's go over to Jackie with a check on our traffic. Good morning.
Good morning, Christine. Well, traffic moving along relatively well on major highways. Let's take a tour throughout the Cleveland metro area. See some of these cameras as you travel on out. And you can see this is 90 by Broadway Avenue. Just a couple of cars out on the road. No problems for you right now as you make your way out on 480 by State Road. Traffic moving well in both directions. No troubles for you right now over in the area of 77 at Harvard Avenue either. Looks pretty fantastic. Now, all morning long, I've been tweeting out information about your commute, and I will continue to update you on Twitter and on Facebook. So make sure you follow me at Jackie Traffic and Facebook.com/JZabelski.
Well, are you dealing with a little cabin fever? Well, we may have just the cure, and it is for free. Cedra, what's going on in Free Fun Friday?
Well, if you want to get over that cabin fever, head on out to the Summit County Metro Parks. Today, only join woodcarver Tom Baldwin over at the FA Cyberling Nature Realm in Akron. He'll demo his award-winning wood carving skills, sculpting wood into all kinds of figures. The fun kicks off tonight at 7. Now, you can find details about this free event and more than 24 others that I found just for you right now at newsnet5.com. Happy Friday. And Mike and Macy are back in 2 minutes with your top stories. That's ahead on Good Morning Cleveland. I'm 75 minutes away from party time. Nothing, just being happy to enjoy the weekend.